Good morning, everybody. Everything appears to be working again. Fantastic. Right, what are we doing today? More artifact generation. Yay. Let's go. Artifacts of what now? What are we doing? Bit of context. Let's go. So we're trying to create pick and place machine planning software, which also works for manual placement and various different processes as well. So maybe the top of the board is pick and place machine and the bottom of the board is through all components and you solder them by hand. So you've got two processes and you need to have a list of things and a list of stuff that you need to do for each phase of the job. And we're creating planning software to do that. This is where we're sort of, where we're at in this whole workflow thing. So we're getting sort of like, fairly close to the end of this vertical slice. There's lots of areas to improve. We need to go back and refactor a whole bunch of code and move it all around and make it all nice and lovely and everything. But I'm resisting refactoring too early. I don't care about too much of the details yet and sort of the weird edge cases and corner cases and so on. We're just trying to build like a start to end flow of the process. And we're on generate artifacts. So the artifacts that we need to create, this is the log set. This is what it's looking like at the moment. There's many things going on here at the moment. There's lots of things that we've been talking about over the last month or so. And the other day, maybe one day last week, I think it was. Yeah, we came up with the workflow steps, this list. And these were the artifacts that we decided that we needed to generate. And one of the things that we did was order a list of placements. We got that done the other day. And yesterday afternoon, after pushing the changes and so on, I noticed there was a build failure. I'm like, how is there a build failure? We ran the tests before we pushed everything right. Well, it turns out, yes, we ran the tests with one feature flag, which was a CLI feature flag. But if you run the same test without the CLI feature flag, which is what happens when we push the changes, it runs cargo test, and then it runs cargo test again with the feature flags enabled for the CLI. But when we run it without it, then there were some failing tests. And if you remember, a while back ago, we were doing some CLI arguments for one of the other commands, and we had like an internal data structure for the project, and then we had an argument, and then you use the CLI argument, and then you create the internal structure, and then that gets saved and serialized. And then we have different reasons for change for the argument versus the internal data structures, and sometimes you want an interface between the two of them, or a layer between them. Basically, they're on separate layers. And that was what the cause of the problem was, in that when we tried to compile without the CLI flag, it was trying to use some dependency which wasn't enabled for the default feature set in cargo. So the things we had to change, if I can find Rust Rover, there it is. Oh, I'm trying a new font today, by the way. So you guys let me know in the comments if you prefer this font. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, or if you prefer, and this is the Hack Nerd font, or if you prefer JetBrains Mono font, which looks like this. I don't know yet. I kind of feel that the JetBrains one might be better, but I'm going to try this today, and then we'll see how far we get on with it. Hack Nerd font. I don't know, it feels like maybe the text is a little bit smaller. I don't know whether it works as well for the streaming as the other font. So yeah, let me know in the chat if you prefer the previous font or if you like this one. Anyway, going back to the problem, what we had was a sort order, and this had some clap annotations on there, or in cargo attributes, And they were the source of the problem because clap isn't enabled without the CLI feature. And there was a future on this list right next to these things because I wrote them and I'm like, consider introducing an arg and moving these out of here. And it turned out, yes, that's exactly what we needed to do to fix the build failure. So let's have a quick look at the commit so you can see what it was and what there is now. Planner. So let me see if I can find it. Yes, this. Is it this? No, not that one. Yeah, we'll find it eventually. Here it is. These ones. Yeah. So there was a consider introducing sort order arg to decouple serialization and clap usage. So I did that basically. So the problem was these derive and values getting in the way, and the dependencies up here on clap were causing the issue. So basically, it's we introduced those arg things. So now we have these args, and we can convert from a sort order arg to a sort order using a trivial match state. No big deal. So that fixed the build failure. Anyway, right, moving on. What are we doing today? So when we run all the tests now, here we go. We run all the tests with the CLI feature, and then we can run all the tests without the CLI feature. And we need to remember to do both of these things, which we failed to do the other day, yesterday. And I've also added these into the IDE as well. So we've got all test default features, and then all tests CLI. And there we go. So there it works. We've got to make sure those work before we do the push. Right, so we're on generate artifacts. We've got a test for generating artifacts over here. And currently we are making sure that our placement records come out. And then yesterday we added the X, Y, and the rotation. Yeah. So let's look at our list again and see what else we need to do. So we've got our order list of placement. That appears to be okay. Part to load out assignments. Now we have a loadout, right? But that is itself the loadout, right? Are we interested in the total list of things in the loadout, or are we just interested in the things that this job needs? Maybe we were interested in both. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. We're certainly interested in the things that this phase needs, so that you can make sure that you've got a list of things that you need to load into the machine, or yes, no, yeah, it is going to be the latter, isn't it? So if you're manually placing things, you need to know the list of parts to get out from the boxes and shelves and whatever that you've got, right? So let's try and deal with that. We should probably create some structured document that we can convert to HTML or XML or PDF or something like this, is what I'm thinking, like a report. How would we do it? What would we do? Let's have a look for Rust crates and see if we can find. Oh yeah, these are the fonts. I found this site yesterday. Nerd Fonts. It's got many good, many interesting fonts in here. So I tried a couple of these. But anyway, I digress. Let's go back to crates.io. let's get rid of all of these things. Stay on page. We'll keep that open. Okay, so crate.io, and let's just find like HTML report or something like this. I don't know, because I don't want to be, you know, handcrafting HTML stuff. Maybe there's a nice sort of like templated sort of HTML report generatory thing that we can potentially use. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything particularly interesting. Let's search for the word report. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what something like this would be called. Like maybe we look at some other report generators and see how they generate sort of HTML. I don't know. Don't know. What would you do? What would you search for? Template engine. Tiny template. I don't know. I don't think we need a template engine. Oh, this looks interesting though. Yeah, it's interesting the things you find. So, are we going to get sidetracked? I don't know. That's interesting. Let's make a note of that. Interesting. So no, we're not really interested in that right now. I don't know. Let's search for Rust HTML report generator. Let's see if Google comes up with something better. Build HTML, HTML builder. Oh, I suppose we could search for HTML and see what comes up. What does it do? Automatically close your tags for you? Yeah, this kind of thing. I mean, don't know. This is the kind of stuff I want to avoid. Yeah, that looks sort of what we want. Build HTML. Is it popular? It's clearly on someone at work's using it. Like what other crates are there? Let's have a look. Open source library generating reports. Yeah, okay, well, that looks interesting. Data, yes. REST API server. I think that might be a bit. Okay. No, let's keep searching. Yeah, JSON to PDF, doc, blah 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 blah. Like. It's this kind of thing that we want. We want to create a structured document and then have it prettied up, but not that. Yeah. What about a PDF generator? Let's see if we can find a PDF. Let's carry on looking at this for a bit for HTML stuff. So quick HTML. This is our HTML search. Plotters, language tags, no. Let's sort it by relevance. Don't know. Don't know. Yeah, it's more sort of report thing. Let's search for PDF generator. Surprisingly. Like, what other programs use these libraries? Okay. So I don't want to get in the low-level details of PDF documents. What I want is some other tool which uses this library, for instance, you know, and then some report generator. Yeah, I don't want to get all fancy like that. I don't want to write that. I just want a sort of simple report generator thing. What's this? That's the same thing we found earlier. Renders a document tree. Okay, let's have a look at this. Gen PDF. Maybe. Yeah. What can we find? I don't know. If anyone knows, post in the chat. Don't know. No. Nothing's jumping out at me. I kind of feel that we should we'll just focus on creating a structured document with the things that we need to put in the report, rather than making it pretty, right? Because there's a million different ways of taking, like, say, a structured object graph and creating, like, JSON or XML or whatever like this from it, and then going from one of those formats to a final format like HTML or PDF or whatever, right? What we're interested in is the data and the structure of the data. So let's focus on that, and then we can add prettiness later, because I don't know, maybe we don't need to do some of this later, or maybe we can build sort of like a very light sort of wrapper using something like build HTML to take the data structure and then convert it to HTML or something like that, right? Or use one of these things to do it. So let's focus on the data. And then in the meantime we can do a bit of research on sort of structured document conversion libraries or something. God, build failure. Disaster. It's all fine now though, look. Right, okay, so that's what we're going to do. So we need to go back to workflow steps and see if we can create a document which contains all of this stuff. Right. Okay, so one of the things that we wrote to a CSV file, and maybe we need that as a CSV file, but maybe it should also be in the report as well. So let's have a think. Let's have a little think here. Right, so if we want to assert that we've got a file that can be used to make a pretty report, we need to assert the content on it, right? Yeah. So therefore we're into sort of like Serde serialization, deserialization code for a structured document. But wait a second. wait a second, don't we already have a structured document containing all this information already? Is it in the right format? Because we've got our project file, which is a JSON file, right? So can we not just use that? Probably not. It doesn't. I don't think it's a good idea to sort of like build report templating and use the internal data structure of the project, because of the single responsibility principle. You don't want to change to the internal data structures of your project to have an influence on the report generation code. So yeah, that was a bad idea. It was an idea, but it was a bad idea. Let's go back to the list again. Okay, so let's just start from the top here. A list of phases and repetitions for each phase. Let's generate artifacts. So what are we going to generate? Placements, that's all fine. Do we want like a report document builder that we can add things to such that we can assert them? Let's do that. And instead of using these stupid tuple structures like we did for the project builder, which I haven't yet converted to not use tuple structures, let's do one that does the same kind of thing that the project builder does. Remember that when we've got this one, we've got this. We generate content, and it uses it uses Serde JSON to create a structure, right? But it does it using a bunch of tuple structures like this, and it's somewhat hideous. And really, these should probably be sort of objects, right? So we'll create one that's like this, which has got the same, like with placements, with phases, with whatever, all the different with methods. But instead of like doing tuple structures and things like this, we're going to create like actual objects for it, like we do for the CSV builder ones, where we create records and use those. So we'll do that, and then maybe we can use that as our sort of like base to convert the other one to the same kind of pattern. Okay, so let's add a new builder. So what is this going to be, like artifact builder? I don't know. Let's call it artifact builder for now, and we'll go from there. Yeah, I'm not sure about this font yet. I don't know. Yeah, don't know. And then the way we said we want to use it was we go like as string on one of these builders, basically, don't we? Or content or something like this. And let's just take the structure of this. Let's just go .toString for now. Right, we'll deal with the implementation in a bit. Right. We need to have a new method. Which returns self, and then we're going to have a bunch of with blah 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 methods. But first, what? Oh, yeah, sorry. Get the signature right. Yes, at the moment it's a default, but it's fine. It's not going to be default forever. Okay, so let's go back to the test. So we've got the expected placements that we want, right? Artifact, report, content. Can we import this? No, why can't we import it? It's public. Is the mod not public? No, the mod's public. Why can't we have this? Yeah. Oh, wrong one. Come back. 8. Okay, it works now. I don't know why the import wasn't working on there. I think it's because in these int tests, it doesn't seem to find stuff that's specified in files like this. The IDE has trouble with this path thing sometimes, I think. Not entirely sure. Okay, so going back to this, we've now got this, right? So we've got a build that's going to create some content. It doesn't do anything yet, but we need to assert this content is on the file system somewhere and that it contains what we want. So it's going to need a file name, and we've got this sort of block which does a very similar thing, so we're going to borrow that. We're going to fix up this. And say well, what is this? I mean, it's an artifact. It's more of a report. Should we call it project report? Let's call it that, right? And we'll create a JSON file to start with. Should we include the name of the project in the file name? I think we should. So our report was called, our project was called job 1. So if we say the file name should contain that, that's probably fairly reasonable. Should we use the underscore? Or should we use dash? I think we used underscore everywhere else, didn't we? And the names of files. I don't remember exactly. We can change it later, it's not a problem. So I think this artifact builder it's got the wrong name. When I wrote it down I didn't like it, but now I really don't like it. Let's call it a project report builder. Okay. So now we say, oh, I've got exported. Now, this is supposed to be this. There we go. Okay, great. What's supposed to be in the report? Let's quickly eyeball this again. So we create a path, we add the file name to it, we load the file in, we print it out, and then we assert the content. Fine. Looks good. So this is now where we need to go with and then whatever. So we said list of phases and repetitions for each phase. So is this a phase overview? Let's go that. Let's go with phases. Oh, or is it just a with an overview? Yeah, okay, with overview. Right. And then let's say, before we do that, let's go with name, and it's going to be whatever we said it was, job 1. Yeah, I'll call it with phases overview, and we're going to have a slice of something. Test phase overview, why not? And this is going to have phases and repetitions. So phase name, yeah, why not? Are we going to have strings in here? Let's say we're going to have strings in it. Then we don't have to deal with lifetimes. So there's only one phase in here, so great, got this. We need to rename this file. Yeah, okay, good. And we're going to create these structures in here. Which needs to be public. And now we can import it, okay. And then we create the field. Happy days. Right, so we can create these methods now. And this needs to return self. And we follow the same pattern as before, right? And then are we cloning things, or are we passing a reference? How about we do it like this? And then that way, oh yeah, this one's got, right, okay, fine. Yeah, okay. Sure, so we don't have name. What's the problem? Oh. Not sure why it can't do that. Why is it struggling here? Oh, this is supposed to be 2-string, not clone. Yeah. Okay, good. Maybe this can still be default, I don't know. Let's find out. So, alright, now we've got this with phases overview. Sure. And this again needs to return self, takes mutable self, and this is phase overviews. Sure. And we're going to take a slice of these things. Something like that. Uh-huh. Oh, and this is a weird one. Wait, well, this needs to be. An optional one, I must say. Does it need to be optional? Let's just make them all optional. And then it's consistent. Right. Oh, well, No, I was right the first time. But not as right as I need to be. Let's just build that and see what happens. Mismatch types. So we've got a slice here. What is it? Do we do vec from slice? Is it like this? Okay. Yeah, because it's got to clone the items in it, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, fine. So it builds and it runs, which is good. And now it can't find the file. This is good. So we've got sort of like the bare minimum of sort of stuff that we can use to create our structured document. And in all likelihood, a lot of the prod code is going to. But we haven't said. We haven't got an implementation of the as string yet. Let's do that first. Yeah, so we've got this 2-string thing here, right? So we think in our other builder thing, not that one, this one, we create a new JSON object and we add stuff to it. So let's follow the same pattern as that. And then at the end it goes What does it do? At the end it does this. Now, I'm not sure we're going to use all this exactly, but where's the serializer come from? Oh yeah. We need all this. Right. Let's say, what are we going to do here? Because I kind of want to print this out. Let's say actual here. And let's just say expected. I'm doing this because I want to be able to see them. Because it's going to fail to load the file in, so we never see what the actual one is yet until the file exists. Right, but somewhere down here now we should have expected this. Right, and that's what we've got to fix. So we've got to add things to the root somewhere around here. So let's see if we can work that out. Root. So we could create an object for the root of this thing and then just try serializing that. Or we could do this thing where we just randomly add stuff to it. Let's try creating the root object as an actual object and then just calling serialize on this object, because I think it might just be it might be a bit better. And then everything on this root will probably be like optional until we work it out. Okay, we'll try that. Project report. Sure, why not? And then it's going to have a name field that's a string. And then it's going to have phase overviews, which is going to be an optional vec of test phase overviews. Let's prefix this with test project report. Right. And then we can probably add the surday serialize and deserialize onto this thing, right? Just serializing. Right, but this won't work because this doesn't have one on it. Right, but now it should. So now instead of doing this, we should... Are we going to be adding this to ourselves here at this point, or are we just going to create this test project report inside here? It's probably better to do this, isn't it? Probably is, isn't it? Yeah. Self.report.phase overviews is that, yeah. Let's do that. I think that'll work out better. Let's use default on this thing, because import default for test project report, because everything's optional, so it should be fine. Oh no, you just derive it, don't you? That was the whole point. Right. So now we can do that, we can do that, we can do this, but we don't want to do this anymore. I can't remember how to do it. I think you just go self.report.serialize using the serializer. And we don't expect it to fail. What is serialized? I don't know. I can't remember how to do Serde serialization. Let's look at another place where we do it. It's where we write the project, isn't it? Where we go save project. Project save is how we do it. So it returns something. So you just go project and you go serialize and you pass it a mutable reference. Yeah, we were fairly close. Still all these stupid expect things. Sure. It's test code. Should always work. Okay, what happens now? So, yeah, here's our expected report. Yay. Which is this bit. Let's make it print out a /n first. Like so. Just so that we can more clearly see it. There we go. So this is our structure of the document that we want. Okay, so, you know, yeah, let's make that happen. It's probably going to be fairly easy. Planner. So we've got this project save. And yeah, I imagine the report thing is going to be very, very similar to this. The serialization bit, but the building it is probably going to look the same as the test code. Alright. Oh, yeah, excuse me. Alright, so we've got generate artifacts. Generate artifacts. Passes in the project, great. So generate artifacts is going to generate phase artifacts, fine. And let's just say project generate report. And a path maybe? I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have an error. We need to map the error if it's a problem. Report generation error, I suppose, with a reason. Yeah. Let's add that as an error. Maybe we'll add something else to this, but let's just do it like this for now. Okay. And then we put a question mark on the end. There we go. So now we can create this, and we know what we're supposed to be returning, which would be like something like a result and report generation error, let's say. And we've got a derive error. And we know that we can have it blank for now. And let's just say it's okay. And we know we need the path. Right. So where we save a project, do we have a file name? So we've got a path, create project file path, blah, 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 blah. We essentially need to do this. Likely there's going to be like a report thing which we can save or something. I don't know. Let's borrow this, and let's say project report save. And then let's say report, project report. Right. Seems reasonable. And then we just serialize the report like we did before. Oh dear. Hold on. We've got the same name here, it's shadowed. Yeah, we're okay. So we don't have this project report yet. So in here, we need to create a project report. And then call project report save with file name. Right, but we need to build this thing. And also we need to deal with the error handling. So we go report generation error, unable to save. Unable to save, serialize? Yeah. And then we'll give it a cause. Seems reasonable enough at this point. is this? What is this? Well, we can't find out yet. We need to build a report file path. So where we call this save thing, it happens in a bunch of places. We've got this project file path, and the project file path is built up like this. It's built it up from these two things. Name is available to us. So we're going to pass over the name to this as well. And then we can pass the name over here as well. Name. And then in here we can finally build a report file path from the path and the name. Path and the name, right? But no. This is like some method that we've got. We'll borrow this. Oops. And then we'll use this, and we'll change the implementation in a moment. Build report file path. Yeah. And it was well, we said it's the name with an underscore and then a report.json. And maybe we will come back and we'll check these file names a bit later, but this will do for now. It'll match the test. We need a structure called project report. I'm just going to put them all in here for now. And this is the thing that we're going to need to be able to serialize. So we're going to need that on it. And that should be enough to create an empty report. Maybe. Oh, but we need default on here as well. Oh, and a bracket. Right, so this gives you an anyhow result. Which is sort of just type error. Can we do this? Right, and then we need to work out how to do these error things. So unable to save report. Reason. Did we say cause in other ones? I think we did. Let's have a look. Now what are we missing? Debug. Okay. We need a question mark on here because it's got to map it to this. Right, we want to report reference here, and the report file path is also going to be a reference here. That's all good. And we've got this project. We're not using the project yet, but we will. Can we do an into on it? Does it let us do it? It does. Yay! Okay, we can compile stuff. That was good, wasn't it? Alright, what happened now? So, in theory, it should have created the file with nothing in it. Expected, but do we have an actual? We do. Yes. Alright, cool. Okay, this is good. That's quite a lot of boilerplate stuff, wasn't it, there? Jeez, you see all that? There was loads. So we created a default report, and we're saving it. But we need to fill in the blanks. And in the test code, we filled in the blanks. We filled in the blanks somewhere. Where did we do it? Here, isn't it? Yeah. And we used a builder to do it. Maybe we want to use a builder in the production code as well? I don't know. Do we need to? Would it be useful? Would it actually be useful? I don't know. Let's try doing it without a builder and see where we get. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it without a builder and see what we get. Where's my planner? I can't find the production code. I've lost the production code. Parsers, no. CLI, no. Planning, no. This thing. Here we go. So we created a default one, and then we're going to go report dot. Yeah, because some of these things are always going to be there. We're going to go name is project dot name. I'm going to clone it. You see, I don't know why it does that. Like, why can't it create this property now? Oh. Oh yeah, okay, this needs to be mutable. That's probably what was missing. I think you can go dot clone dot from clone from, that's it. And then it doesn't recreate the object itself. And you give it a reference? Yeah. Okay. Sure. You know. Happy days. You know, we've got stuff in there. This is good. so now we want these other thingies. So I guess we go. Well, I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's say phase overviews. And it's going to be a vec of these things. And it's going to have a phase name, which is a string. And when we add repetitions, yeah, we'll add that to it as well. Oops. I don't think we need default on here. So we'll just put the things on that we know we need. And then we can go something like report.phase overviews. Well, and then I suppose we could iterate over the project's phases and then add them one at a time. Or we could get funky with the API usage. And I think you can go extend. And then you can give it an iterator, which is going to come from the project phases. And we're going to map each of those things to what we actually want. And then in here, we're going to return the phase overview built from the phase this is a reference and a phase. Is that right? Phase name is a string. Phase reference is... Oh yeah. And this is currently unused. Might pass. Oh yeah, look at passes. Hey! It works. Cool. So if we wanted to, we could generate like an XML thing from this instead of JSON by using a different serializer. Which is neat, I suppose. And then you could use like XST to go from XML to HTML. Ugh, what is this? 2010? No, it's 2024. Okay, so we can generate a report. This is good. You know, we've got our... Where's our little thing? Here it is. I suppose we can sort of tick this at this point, can't we? Probably. Oh, what colour is that? That's not the same colour as that. Anyway, you get the idea. But we've got to do a commit, I think, at this point. I mean, is everything right? Let's iterating on a maps value. Oh, you can do... Because you can do keys. I think it wants phases.value values, right? And then you just take the phase, and that will shut Clippy up. Okay, fine. You know, everything's fine. So this bit is sort of like build report, and this bit is like save it, but we'll keep them in there for now. Alright, let's see if we can do a commit. What do? We said that we want to build a report. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong bits. And we've got some expected report content, and it's supposed to contain some things, and then we say what we want. Okay. To do that, we use the builder. Yeah, and I think we can just go. Yeah, we can just go derive default on here. And then delete this. Well, yeah, okay, we're going to delete that. But now we need to go back to this and go dot. We need to go default. And then call the methods, right? Make sure that works. Yeah, that's better. I mean, it shuts Clippy up. Is it better? Right, we've got that. Yeah, that's all fine. And then in our planner, we say generate artifacts, and then we generate artifacts, and then artifacts can fail to generate reports, so we need a report generation error. Then we have to map it to the right error type. Now we've got the generate report method, which does all the thing, but this can also have problems saving things, so we need our own error for that. And then we've got the stuff to do with actually creating it, and they're all together at the moment. And we are going to split up all these methods and put them somewhere nice and so on like this at some point, but not yet. Any white space weirdness or anything like that? No. Yeah, I don't really care. Written amount is not handled. I mean, it's how can it not be handled? I might have to come back and investigate both of those. Okay, so yeah. Generate JSON report document. Cool. Okay. That's good. What else do we need to have in the report? So, part loadout assignments. I suppose we can deal with that. First though, I'm gonna grab a quick coffee from downstairs and a biscuit. So while we contemplate how we're gonna add part loadout assignments to this report, I'll go and make a coffee. Back in a jiffy. Right. Wally says hi. I've got my biscuit. Everything's good. So part to load out assignments. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure we need to go with part to load out assignments. Yeah. And this is probably going to be some, oops-a-daisy, probably going to be some array or slice or something here. But what's going to be in it? Phase. What is this going to be? Because this needs to be per phase. Test. Phase. Part to load out assignments. Right, and this is probably going to be an object which is going to have a phase name. Or do we want like phases? Probably want phases, don't we? Let's look at this again. Operations for each phase, panel, yeah. Let's go with phases. So you've got a list of phases at the top, great. Then once you've got a list of phases, you can go, here's phase 1, and here's all the stuff that is right for phase 1, and then here's phase 2, and then here's all the stuff for that. This is what I'm thinking. With phases, fine. Oh, how about phase details? Details is a noise word. Phase specification. Probably. And then inside the phase, yeah, we can have a phase specification. Test phase specification, right? And this can be an object that can have loadout assignments, which could be it keeps doing that. It's so annoying. I haven't typed anything. If I typed the letter C and then press return, I would expect to do that, but I haven't typed anything. It's just like you go and bracket, and it just like I haven't typed anything at all. It's just got a list. I just want to split the line. Right, loadout assignments. Test phase loadout assignment item. With a reference of either one probably, and a manufacturer, and then this is probably res refer 2, I think, with an MPN of res 2. I think we want that. Let's get rid of this. And this is the list of stuff that you've got to find in your collection. Now, is this list going to be ordered? How's it going to be ordered? Is it going to be ordered by feeder? Is it going to be ordered by manufacturer? Is it going to, it probably needs to be ordered by all of these things. Well, maybe not. Maybe it needs to just be ordered by manufacturer and manufacturer part number. Okay, look, let's forget the ordering. So, let's deal with this. Oh dear. We'll just, create these data structures. Oh. Ah. There we go. I think I spelled manufacturer wrong. Yeah, I did. I wonder why I didn't have this little squiggle underneath it here. That's weird. Loadout's supposed to have a capital O. There we go. Now we can import these. And these things need to be pub. Okay. But these aren't strings. So we need to say .toString on each of these. Okay, fine. So now we can create our builder method, which takes these things. Phase specifications, returns self, takes a mutable self, and then goes self dot report dot phase specifications is some phase specifications. But you need to create a vector from it. Like that, I suppose. Optional vec of test phase specification. I mean, do we really need options in all of these things? Yeah, I suppose we do. Well, I mean, some of them we do, like the name we do, because you could potentially call this builder without calling all the methods, right? Yeah. Okay, we'll plod on with this. Yeah, and here we've got the wrong case. That's fine. What happens? Mismatch type. Load out assignments. Does it need to be a VEC? Can we do it? Can we write it like that? I forget. Yeah. This accidentally got added by me with the ID. There we go. Get rid of that. Run it again. Right, we've got a failing thing. Phase specifications. So it says this is what we want. Okay, cool. I think it's about right. I mean, let's have a look. So it's R1. Yeah. There's a bit more to this that we need. We need a quantity in here as well. Let me go to add quantity. Because you need to know how many of these parts you need for this phase. And maybe add list of object paths used in this phase. So for instance, it might be panel 1, unit 1, R1. Panel 1, unit 2, R1. Right. Let's, we don't need to do this, but it would be nice. I'm wondering whether we should do like a would be nice. Woobins. And a woobin. What the hell are we doing? I'm getting sidetracked. We're having coffee, that's what we're doing. God, it's very hot out here in Spain today. I'm going to need a dip in the pool in about half an hour or so, probably. And then a siesta. It's too hot to work at the moment. What are we at? Mid-August. It's baking. It's not so much that it's hot, it's the humidity out here that's the killer. You just think about doing anything, you just break out into a sweat. I could get air conditioning, but it just makes me yawn all day. And I don't think it's good for you going between all the hot and the cold. Right. So yeah, what did we get to? So this is what we said we wanted, so now we've got to make it happen. Okay. So we've got our builder thing, and we've got this loadout, and we've got this. I'm just going to steal these and just stick them in here, but remove the word test from them. Because it seems reasonable. Right, great. And then we need to have a phase specification in here. In here. Okay, fine. And it's a vex, so default works for it, so that's fine. So now we need to add these. Fine. Report dot phase specifications. Wait, hold on. No. I did that wrong, didn't I? Pub phases. Wait. I completely forgot what I said. So look. Yeah, we're going to need a bit more to it than that. We need the phase name in it as well. Okay. Okay. Right, we need to build this from something. Let's see what we can do here. Let's extend it again from project dot phases dot iter. We'll go values again because I don't think we need the reference dot map phase. And then we need to create a phase specification. And a phase specification has got a bunch of things in it. One of which is the name, which is this, right? The next one is this, loadout assignments. Let's just do it like this. Now we need to build this from somewhere. So for the given phase, we need the loadouts. And we've got this. We've loaded loadouts in a few places before. Let's see if we can find it. Loaders. Aye. We've got this load. We've got this. Let's borrow that. Artifact generation error. Unable to load items. I mean, we've got this same one again. But you know, do we? No, you see, because port generation error. not ideal, is it? But whatever. Because maybe you want to generate one phase report, report for one phase. I don't know. Don't know. But we need a report generation error, which sort of has the same error in it. It's kind of weird, but we're just going to go with it. Now, this is a bit of a problem. Because we can't use this operator here. Is there a... okay, I suppose we can create let foo equals, and then, can we do this here? Not really. We have to iterate over it and load the phase, load the loadout for each one, and yeah, no, that's not really going to work, is it? Like, I don't really want to load them all first and then process all the ones we loaded, because that seems a bit wasteful in terms of memory, right? What can we do? How do we fix this? I suppose we could return a result here. So if we said that we still need to call this extend thing, let's move this out of here and just paste it here, right? And then if we said OK and then whatever, we get the values and we map each phase value to something, but then we need to collect each one of these. Something like that, maybe? I'm not sure. So we get these and we map it to this. And then if this doesn't work, then you get a report generation error. This is supposed to be a this is another case of fold, isn't it? Where we return something. Let's say, what is this going to be? This is going to be, it's going to be a vector of phase specification. Because we've got a question mark operator here. And we're going to go, I think we're going to use trifold. I think this is what we need. And we have a result. But we don't, because trifold automatic does that. So we want the accumulator, which is just going to be an empty vec right now, I think. And this is going to be something like phase. Oh no, we want the result. Results. Oh, I don't know exactly what this is going to look like. And then we've got to try and load the loadout assignments, but it might fail. And with the trifold, we have to go OK, and then do we just go some result at the end? Some results. We need to have the results, but the results is this vector of whatever, so it's probably right. Oh, what happened here? A vector of something. This needs to be a result vector of... And we're just going to create an empty one at the moment, results. And then if it works, we want this phase specification thing. And we go results dot push and then the phase specification, right? This results needs to be mutable. And then why would it be an optional one? I'm not sure about the use of like trifold here. Load items gives you a vec. Let's have a look at how you're supposed to use trifold. I forget. So the result that you get here is the function that you're running. Oh, it needs to be init type B. Okay, so it's supposed to return, so it's not supposed to return sum here, it's supposed to return OK. There we go. So that bit's okay, but now what? Do we just do this? Not sure. Yeah, you do. But what's happened to this? Yeah, no, we're okay. So if this returns an error, the trifold overall result returns an error, and then you get the error back, which is this error. Yeah, that works. Okay. And then you've got the list, and then you extend it, right? Phase specific. So we can name this properly and call it phase specific. Phase specifications, right? But now we can actually use the loadout items somewhere down here, right? Because at the moment we've got an empty vector. So we can say loadout items dot iter map, right? Then we've got a loadout item, and then we run a bit of code to do the map, and then we collect, and everything's fine. But we need to assign this to this, and then we can get rid of this one. Now, who prefers it like this and who prefers it like that? I'm curious. Hi, E-Lemon, I just saw you there. I'm a little bit late looking at the chat there. 45 minutes too slow. Dearie me, I need to improve that. Right, so we need to do the map. So we're supposed to be creating a phase loadout assignment item, which has got some stuff in it, which basically all come from the loadout item. But this result object we're going to add like quantity and other things too. Yeah, I'm just having thoughts about like whether we care about these structured things or whether we just want fields or whatever. I think we care about the structure of these things. Is this already a string? It is. Yeah. Well, it's well exciting, this bit of code, isn't it? Cloning strings. And then eventually, you know, quantity. I think we'll do the quantity. Should we yeah. That's going to be fun, because then we're going to have to find this part in the list of placements for this phase and see how many times it's used and count them all up and then add it in here. So, but we'll do that as a second bit. Right, where are we now? Let's have a look. Well, we've got more things in it than we thought we were going to have. Yeah, that's probably right. And we don't really care about the sort ordering at this particular moment, just so long as it's fixed for now, because we haven't said sort. Yeah, okay. So we've got res. Oh, well, this is supposed to be MFR for one. Let's go back to this. Where are we? MFR2. So it seems like we need another one, which is number 1. And I think we decided that if you sort these things, well, I don't know which way around this is going to be. Probably going to be the other way around, you know. Okay, so res 1 is in feeder 1. Is that right? Res 1 is in feeder 1, yeah it is. Fine. Everything passes, yeah. So, what do we currently expect? Expected. So we've got our phase specification, it's got a name, and then it's got some loadout assignments, and these are the things that you've got. And then at some point, we can add some nice JSON HTML sort of like table generatory thing, right? Oh, dearie me. Right. That works for me. That works for me. Focus on the content. I mean, if you're building a user interface with this on it as well, you know, the content is the document that you would pass to your view, which renders all the fields and all this kind of stuff on it, right? So this kind of like structured document kind of thing works for quite a few things. If you've got an HTTP REST API or whatever, you know, you can spit one of these across the wire and away you go. You can display it remotely and however you choose to. So this kind of structured document kind of report thing works for a number of scenarios. Focus on the content. That's the key. Representation. Meh. There's many ways to skin that cat. Poor little cats. Always getting skinned, aren't they? Meow. Don't skin the cat. Leave the kitty cat alone. Right, so we've added phase specifications on here. Yeah. So what are we doing here for this commit? This is adding phase specifications to the project report. That's what we said we're doing. That's how we did it. Planner. And you've got this unable to load items with the loadout source, yeah. And then we create the phase specifications and add them to the report, great. And then we add the phase specifications to the list and add the details of what it's supposed to be. Fine, everything's good. Cool. Commit skidoodle. Okay, let's run all the tests on the command line. With and without the feature. I still haven't fixed those warnings. One of these days I'll get around to that. Right, so all the tests work with and without the feature. So let's push these things. There we go. Push. And away they go. Should we deal with that quantity field? Let's see if we can deal with that quantity field. Project report builder. Test. So let's break these out. Because the line's too long once we start adding the next one. Quantity 1. And this needs to be U32 is probably fine. Add quantity. Right, so we've got to deal with that. So we should have a failing test now, right? Yeah. Missing quantity field. Great. Let's see if we can do that. This is going to be interesting. So we've got a quantity. So let's just say let quantity equals 1. Right. Happy days. Create field. Now I specify the type here so that when I added a field to this, it would have added field. Okay. Oh yeah, field. Yeah. Okay, it would have added the right type here. You can't have negative quantities. So U32 seems fine. But this obviously we need to like work that out. So how do we do that? We're going to need to iterate over all the placements for the phase. So our project has a bunch of placements. And each placement state has a phase assigned to it. So we can go through the placement states, filter by the phase that we're currently looking at, and then count up how many times we see this manufacturer and part number. That's what we're going to do. Sure. So we're going to go project dot placements, and then we're going to use the fold on it. Again, this fold is very popular, and we're going to go 0 U32, and then we're going to say quantity, comma, placement, state, I think. And we're going to return the quantity. Why is it moaning? What's going on here? It's a fold. This state. Oh, because this is supposed to be a comma. Right. So we've got this quantity that we're adding up, and then we've got a bunch of placement states. But really we need to filter first. So let's move this here and do the filter. This should be placement state. Object path, right? And then we got the phase. So placement state dot phase equals and then somewhere we've got a phase reference, yeah, and we need to pass a reference to that, to it, I think. Oh, phase dot, what is this? So this is one of these funny ones. Okay, so we have to go, and this is that matches case, isn't it? Matches. No. Oh dear. What are we doing? Phase. I can't remember what the syntax for this is. Which bit goes where? What? What are we extracting? Matches takes two things. Placement state, and it returns true if the placement state is state if the states dot no, what is this state? Placement state? No, that's a reference. Phase dot. Oh dear. This is supposed to be placement state dot phase, isn't it? Yes. Some phase if phase equals and then we've got a phase dot reference. Here we go. That's it. Dot to string probably. Oh gosh, no. What's the problem here? What's this phase dot reference? This is a reference as well. Oh, other phase. Phase. That's better. That was a bit tricky to write. Other phase reference. Yeah. Because up here we've got this other phase and it's coming from that, right? Yeah. So, yeah. So, we've found a placement, but now we need to see if it matches. I suppose we can do the matches in the filter as well, can't we? So perhaps we can go and matches so what are we trying to match on? We've got to check the manufacturer and part number of this thing. So we've got a loadout item. We've got a placement. We don't. Are we doing this bit in the wrong place? Yeah, we are. This needs to be done here, doesn't it? Because we don't have the loadout item to match unless we're inside this block. So if we say if the loadout items manufacturer I don't think we need to use matches equals the placement states placement parts manufacturer and the MPN. Then we increase the quantity by 1. Well, God, I mean that's interesting, isn't it? Okay, go. It said 1. We must have done something right. Hey, quantity 1. Wait, no, that's expected. See, and then actually 1. Amazing. Apparently it works. I still think our test needs more info in it, like more placements in it. It needs 3 placements and 2 of them need to be the same manufacturer and part number in order for us to test the quantity field properly, really. Yeah, you know. Cool. Okay. And I think our test setup needs 2 phases as well, because there's no reason for this line to exist if there was 1 phase. You don't need to check phase, right? Yeah, our test data needs to be improved a little bit. Okay, cool. I'm quite happy with that. That seems to work all right. That was good. That didn't take too long, did it? That was pretty good. Bit of a faff right in this line of code, but apart from that, it was all right. What did we do? We added quantity. Adding quantity to the phase loadout assignment item in the project report. Right, so now you know how many of R1, how many of these resistors to place, and how many to cut your tape. Get your cut tape, cut it the right length, and then spread them out on your desk. Cool. Yeah, quantity, etc. Fine. That wasn't too bad. That was alright. Okay, right. Let's run all the tests. Kaplop. Kablooey. Everything's good. Time for a push. There we go. Done skidoodle. I think that's where we're going to leave it today. Let's just have a look here for a moment. Building. Let's watch this while it builds and think about the next thing. Yeah, what is the next thing going to be? Let's have a look. We've got our little thing here. So, part to loadout assignments done. Great. So then we've got a list of operations for each phase. This might be like load the feeders, get the components out. So you've got a little checklist of stuff to do or something like that. And it depends on sort of the operation that you need to do, I suppose. Not sure whether we can do much of that yet. Oh yeah, we've got PCBs to load. Yeah, no, we've got this feeders to load. Yeah, we've got the feeder loadout assignments. PCBs to load, because we don't know whether we haven't got a pick and place machine to query to find out what feeders are currently present in the machine, right? So we don't know which things that need loading in it, or whether they've already got those parts in it. So we can't do that one yet. The PCBs to load, we can do that one, yeah. And the assembly variant PCB units we can do. So we'll do those. I'll do those when I do some more work on this, and yeah, we'll see if we can finish this bit off. Because I'm quite keen to get on to the check status bit, which is the thing that's coming up next. Because that's going to be interesting. Not sure what status there are to check. Like, have all the components been placed, for instance? Have you defined everything that you need to define? Are all the parts assigned and all that kind of stuff, right? That's what we're going to need to know. And maybe this status is going to end up being in the report as well. It might well be. So yeah, okay. Looks like the build passed, so that's good. So yeah, we're good there. So we've got happy passing, refresh, everything's good. 107 commits we're up to so far. Wow. Let's have a quick look at the insights. Much additions. Code frequency. Wow. Much lines of codes, dependencies, yeah. Okay, so it can print out the dependencies, that's good. Neat. I think it's going to just be me. It should be. Hey, look, there we are. Right. Making fairly steady progress. This is good. This is good. Quite happy with this. Okay, so we're going to leave it there. And yeah, we'll see where we get to on the next stream. So, just remember, folks, it's only software. How hard can it be? We'll find out on the next one. See ya!